are you guys today?
I hope you guys are always fine. Today we are going to read and present a fable with the title The Mouse, Deer, and the Elephant, and also a fairy tale called The Pinocchio the Puppet. Have you heard this story before?
Please listen to us carefully and enjoy the stories.
Oops, we forgot something. Before we tell the story, we should introduce ourselves first. Hi, I am Aurora Azahra from SMP Negeri 2 Madiun, class 9F. My student number 6.
And I am Nadya Shafwah from SMP Negeri 2 Madiun, class 9F, my student number 19. Without further ado, let's get into the stories.
A long time ago, there was an old carpenter named Geppetto who carved a puppet in the shape of a boy. This puppet is called Pinocchio. Geppetto wants Pinocchio to be a living thing. A fairy heard his wish and fulfilled it.
Pinocchio, I will turn you into a real boy. But promise me, you will be a good one. You have to respect Geppetto,
Told the fairy to Pinocchio.
I will be a good boy and respect Geppetto.
Repeats Pinocchio. The next day, Geppetto was joyful to see Pinocchio alive. He taught him to speak, walk, and read just like a human. After that, he studied at elementary school. However, he got bored of going to school every day. He decided to go to a circus, making him late to come home.
Why do you come home so late, Pinocchio?
Asked the carpenter.
I got a lot of school assignments. I have to finish it with my friends.
Answered Pinocchio. However, Pinocchio's nose grew longer, indicating he was lying. The next day, Pinocchio was kidnapped by the circus owner. The owner made Pinocchio one of the performers because people love to see a talking puppet. Geppetto worried about him and began to search for him anywhere. When he was looking for Pinocchio at the sea, a big wave smashed and a whale swallowed him. Pinocchio finally escaped from the circus. He then heard that Geppetto the carpenter was swallowed by a whale. He directly went to the sea and got swallowed by the same whale. Pinocchio was happy to see the carpenter, and so did Geppetto. They both planned to go out from the whale's stomach. The whale sneezed because of the tickling, and both Carpenter and Pinocchio got out and went home safely. From that day, Pinocchio turned into a good boy. Here are the characters and setting of both stories. What do you think about the story earlier, guys? These two stories certainly have difference. Do you know what the difference are?
The first text tells about a mouse deer who used his mind to get off the trap. This text can also be called a fable.
Meanwhile, the second text tells of a wooden doll that turns into a boy named Pinocchio with the help of a fairy. This text is usually called a fairy tale. Now, I will tell you the generic structure of the two texts. The first is a text with the title The Mouse, Deer, and the Elephant.
And this is the generic structure of the second text entitled Pinocchio the Puppet.
Wait guys, we just learned some new vocabularies that we didn't know before from the two texts. Here are some of the vocabularies as well as the synonyms and the antonyms of the vocabularies. Before we start discussing the conclusion of the presentation earlier, it will be more exciting if we held a mini quiz. We are going to give you one question that you have to answer and answer in the link provided. Quiz. After seeing and hearing our presentation, what do you think are the characteristics of the character in the two stories?
So, we can to the end of the presentation. Before ending to the presentation this time, we will summarize the conclusion of the two texts. The two texts have difference, starting from the types of text. The text entitled The Mouse Deer and the Elephant is a text that belong to the fable type, while the text entitled Pinocchio the Puppet belong to the fairy tale text type.
Next, we can see that from one of the texts above there is no use of interjection in the dialogue. From the two texts, we can see that the most main difference is that the first text contains stories that describes human character and mind through animal characters. And in the second text, the story that is presented is fantasy or unreal, and the characters in the story are just fictional. And that's what we can share from this presentation.
We hope that it can be useful to anyone.
Thank you very much for your attention. See you!